everyone coming on such short notice. And I'm Assistant Chief Ric Alston, and I'm the Commanding Officer of the Investigative Bureau. And what I will say is, I'm sad that I'm standing up here today to have to talk about another unfortunate incident of gun violence. But saying that, I am glad that I am standing here because I do believe in being transparent and speaking with the community and the media so the citizens of Greensboro will know what's going on in the city. So I want to make sure that that's clear, that it's very important that we're here today to discuss this incident that occurred yesterday. So on Friday, September the 19th, around 3 p.m., patrol officers got a call to Cone and Elm in reference to a discharge call. Preliminary investigation led us to believe that this incident occurred near the Roses at Cone Boulevard and Summit Avenue. Now, it did not have anything to do with the Roses, but our investigation led us to believe that it did start around that location, but it ended up at Cone and Elm where the discharge happened. And there was some type of disorder that occurred between several individuals that led to the gunfire that erupted at that particular intersection. And we do believe through investigative measures that this wasn't a random incident. The individuals that were there, they were familiar with each other, so they did know each other, so it wasn't random. And unfortunately, during the disturbance and the gunfire, a Guilford County school bus was struck by gunfire at the intersection of Cone and Elm. And that was very unfortunate. And for everybody in this room, as a parent, it's alarming to think that something like this could happen with a school bus. And me being a parent myself, you know, that's very alarming that a school bus will get hit by gunfire through reckless behavior of individuals. So we're looking at a situation where you have individuals with a firearm that's irresponsible and choose to discharge that firearm with blatant disregard for public safety. So the other thing I would like to say, through our investigative measures, the quick response by the patrol officers and also the help from the school resource officers in the area was huge. It was tremendous. And based off of their investigation, we called out our criminal investigations division detectives, and they were very helpful with putting the pieces together. And once we got an understanding of what was going on and the individuals that were involved, we called in our VCRT, our Violent Crime Reduction Team, and they were tremendous with carrying on the investigation and identifying the individuals who we believe were involved in this incident at Cone and Elm. And they participated in the apprehension of 3 individuals who I will get to in a few minutes. So the measures that the Violent Crime Reduction Team took to take these dangerous individuals off the street was tremendous, because we felt it was very important to bring closure to the community and reference this heinous incident that occurred. So give me a minute, and I just want to kind of speak on the individuals that we did arrest that was related to the incident. The first individual is Joshua Fountain, 27 years of age, and he was charged with discharging a weapon into a moving vehicle, felony conspiracy, assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill, assault on a school employee, and discharging a firearm in the city limits. And the second individual, Marvin Waters, 22 years of age, was charged with felony conspiracy, assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill. And he was also charged with discharging a weapon into an occupied moving vehicle, assault on a school employee, and discharging a firearm in the city limits. And the last individual that was charged related to this incident was Malik Sampson, and he's 24 years of age. He was charged with assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill, felony conspiracy, and discharging a weapon into a moving vehicle, and assault on a school employee, and the last charge was discharging a firearm in the city limits. So those were the charges for the 3 individuals that we believe were involved in this incident. And as a result of the investigation, and I can't say a lot about all the details, but we did recover a firearm that we believe was used in this incident. And the one thing that I do want to say, and I just want to make this clear, that these individuals were not related to any Gifford County school. They did not attend any schools. And this incident did not occur on any Gifford County school property. The only thing that was related to the Gifford County school system was the bus, of course, that was driving on the public street at the time of the incident. So I just wanted to make that clear, that it did not involve the Gifford County school system whatsoever. And I can't say enough, just going back to the quick response from the officers involved that I mentioned prior to this. And I gotta say thanks to the community, because if it wasn't for the community, I always say this every time I stand up here, without the help from the community, none of this is possible. You know, we need that support from the community to combat gun violence, you know, because we see this so often, and we're always standing in this same place speaking about senseless acts of violence. And we could be talking about a very different situation when you have gunfire that's hitting a school bus that was occupied by kids, and of course the bus driver that was driving elementary school kids at that. So at this point, I'll take time to answer any questions.
Yeah, I just want to start off with, how long did it take to find the suspects? Were they found together? Can you tell me anything about where they were found, and what led you to that location?
So the incident occurred about 3 p.m. yesterday, Friday, September the 19th. Probably within 2.5 hours, we had the individuals in custody. So probably within an hour, we already knew who the perpetrators were. And it took us about another hour after that to take them into custody.
Any details you can tell me about where they were found, if they were found together?
Yeah, they were found together, and the incident is still under investigation. Even though we have made an arrest, there are still other steps that we have to take in this investigation. And we're looking at more charges, and I don't know what those charges will be, but through the investigation, we're probably going to be looking at charging these individuals with more things to come.
Nothing else? Okay, I'll go again. What can you say to the community, and you touched on it a little bit as well already, but what can you say to the community about GPD's dedication to combating this kind of gun violence, especially, I mean, it's terrible anywhere, but especially near a school and with a school bus being involved indirectly with this incident?
Well, I would say 100% gun violence is a priority, because we see how that affects the lives of so many on a daily basis. And when you look at innocent elementary school kids who are just riding the bus home, and they're interjected into some reckless behavior that, like I said, we could have had a totally different outcome. And we're very fortunate that I'm standing here today to report that there were no injuries as a result of someone who made the decision to fire a firearm. And let that sink in. You make a decision to fire a firearm in broad daylight, and this is about 3 p.m. And what happens at 3 p.m., you have dismissal of schools in the area, and you choose to discharge a firearm so recklessly. So I'm fortunate that I can stand here and say that there were no injuries. And you know, it's the outcome we wanted, but we don't want to see this type of situation.
Is there anything you can tell us about suspected or potential motives?
That's still under investigation, but like I stated earlier, I want to make it clear that this was not random, that the individuals did know each other.
And then the other thing that I was seeing a little bit, and I'm sure y'all saw it as well on social media, there seems to be confusion about who is responsible for contacting parents in these situations when schools do have to go on lockdown or there is some sort of threat in the area around a school. Can you just tell us what you know about that procedure and how the police is involved in that alert, if they are at all?
Well, when it comes to certain situations like this, we do rely on help with our partners from the Gifford County school system. And most of that responsibility of just contacting parents, we leave that up to the Gifford County school system, unless it's something that we need to notify someone of that's been injured or something of that nature.
And just going a little bit back to the charges on these individuals, is it understood that all three of them chose to shoot from a firearm? Were there 3 firearms involved, or just the one that you think is connected to the case?
Yeah, just how they participate and to the level that they did, we're still working through that, and that's still an active investigation.
Do you know how many shots were fired?
I'm not sure. I don't want to say exactly, but I know it was several shots that were fired, but I'm not sure the exact number.
And what kind of firearm was recovered?
That's still in the investigation too. I don't want to disclose that now.
Do you know anything about a criminal history of any of these individuals?
The 3 individuals, I have not personally checked their criminal history, so I do not know that.
And at this time, is there any threat or anything that the public needs to be worried about with regards to this case?
No, the 3 that were involved, they are in custody right now with no bond. So there is no active threat to the community.
Okay, I think that's it. Everybody good?
Thanks, everyone.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.